Alright, so before we get into the video, I just want to show you guys something real quick. 96% of you guys are not subscribed, and that is
No bueno.
if you do see this video and you keep seeing me in your recommendations, like the featured or whatever, make sure you hit that subscribe button because it only takes 2 seconds and it does help motivate me to make more videos for you guys because I truly do like making videos. But let's get into the video. This is the Packers round 1 through 7 mock draft 2.0. And if you guys did not see my last mock draft, it was a couple of really good picks I had, but there was also a couple of picks that were completely stretched out because my player knowledge for college players, when it comes to 3rd, 4th, 5th round players, definitely give me a break because I don't know that much about college. But I do like doing the mock drafts. I think they're fun, and you guys definitely enjoyed my last one. There's a lot of feedback, and I loved it really, really much. But today's video, like I said, the Packers 1 through 7 mock draft, just exactly like last time. We're using Pro Football Focus. We're only going to be controlling the Packers, and of course the computer does every single other pick. So let's get into it. And now with the first overall pick for the Packers, pick number 25. If you're a Packers fans, you know that the Packers usually draft defensive players in the first round within the last 3 to 4 years, like Rashawn Gary, Jaire Alexander, Lucas Van Ness last year. So the Packers usually target defense a lot, even with Quay Walker and all of that. So I really can see the Packers drafting a defensive lineman, not a defensive lineman, like a defensive back, like a cornerback. We might draft a safety first round, like Tyler Nubin, but I think that the Packers have more holes on the offensive line, even though our starters are in good shape. When it comes to backups, we just lost a couple of people due to free agency, and like Josh Nijman just went to the Patriots, or no, the Panthers. I'm sorry, the Panthers. And I actually wanted to get Graham Barton. Like I said, by the way, these are all randomized by Pro Football Focus. Like Drake May going to Chicago. Yeah, that's not happening. So give Pro Football Focus a break. That's for damn sure. But like I said, I'm going to go off the Packers' needs and all of that. And I think the offensive lineman is a main thing. And even though we do have a center, Josh Myers, he has not been performing up to expectations. I think that Packers will draft an offensive lineman. I see center Jackson Powers Jr. or Johnson is the first option on here, so he's gonna be going to Green Bay. And also in my last video that I had the Packers making a couple of trades, but I do think that the Packers will make a trade, either the first, second, third round picks, or because we always do, but I'm not gonna do it on here just because it's a little bit too much for my brain to handle. And so we got the pick number 41 for the Jets last year, and I see Tyler Nubin still sitting here, which this Pro Football Focus has been lacking today. And if the Packers, they see Tyler Nubin in the second round when, he's projected to go 25th or something like that, I think the Packers will end up drafting a safety. But usually the Packers draft offensive players like the wide receivers or running backs in the second round. But this year, I do think the Packers might address defensive players in the second round. Now, I think that, just to see Tyler Nubin, I think he's going to go to Green Bay. Perfect fit. And as of right now, I just drafted a safety, Tyler Nubin, but, our safety room is really, really, really bad right now for the Packers. We just signed Xavier McKinney, so don't get me wrong there. But besides that, we got a lot of nobodies, but we just drafted Tyler Nubin, in which I would love the Packers to do if he can even be available in the second round. And I wouldn't be mad if the Packers actually ended up drafting him in the first round, but I think the Packers will go back-to-back, either a cornerback or a safety in this round, the second round still. And I think that just because Javon Bullard's still here from Georgia, I think the Packers might draft 2 safeties back-to-back. And now, like I said earlier in the video, when it comes to 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks, my player knowledge just goes right down the trade. So drain, so definitely give me a break. But I think that in the 3rd round, this is where the Packers are going to go offensive heavy as an offensive lineman again, because like I said, we basically have no backups that are reliable. And I think that the first one I see right here, Christian Mahogany from Boston College, reuniting with Jeff Halfley. So I think the Packers will draft a guard. Christian, you're going to Green Bay. And I didn't even realize this, but the Packers have 2 3rd round picks this year from Buffalo with that Rasul Douglas trade. And, depending on, I think the Packers need a cornerback because we got Jaire Alexander. We got Eric Stokes, who's been really banged up the last couple of years. We just re-signed Valentine. We still got Valentine. And that's really it with our secondary, top of my head. And I think that Max Melton, actually Bo Melton's brother, this would be huge because, you know, they're brothers, and I think that's really cool to reunite with each other. So I think the Packers are going to end up drafting Max Melton from the Rutgers. And like I just said earlier too, we're in round 4 right now, and I do see the Packers drafting a lot of offensive linemen this year. And that's if we don't sign any more people in the free agency period. But we didn't sign anybody in free agency period on offensive line. So I can see the Packers draft another guard, Cooper Beebe from Kansas State. You're going to the Packers. And now with the round 5 pick, the Packers, in my opinion, have not drafted a running back yet. And I could definitely see the Packers drafting one within the 2nd or 3rd round this year because, you know, the Packers, we just signed A.J. Dillon again, but we still need a strong number 3 that can, you know, learn from Josh Jacobs. And the Packers are also known for drafting the running back in the 2nd and 3rd round. And I think the Packers will draft a running back this round. And I think that Dylan Lobb from New Hampshire, just because I see his top one, you know, he's on the top of the list right now. And I think that the Packers will end up drafting a running back, but I think it'll be later in the draft. So, Dylan, you're going to Green Bay. Now, late in the 6th round, you know, this is where things go haywire. You know, the Packers can make any type of, you know, pick here. We can literally go any position. Wide receiver. I actually don't think the wide receivers, the Packers will draft a wide receiver this year just because we already have so many good young players in our wide receiver room. And I think that, you know, they could draft one in the 6th or 7th round, but I don't think they're going to draft one, honestly, this year. I could be wrong for sure. They have like 11 picks or something like that. But I think they're going to go the top guy off the board, Jalen Green from James Madison, an edge rusher. I think, you know, the Packers will draft an edge rusher or something like that in this round. I don't know. Could be anything. I remember in my last mock draft, I drafted Tenor Bortolini. I had no clue who he is, so I think, well, no, because I just drafted a center. Freaking dumb. We don't need a tight end. We do need a linebacker. That's one thing I didn't even think about for some reason. Oh, crap. So this whole draft is kind of caca now, but I don't care. Jalen Ford from Texas. Packers definitely need a linebacker. We might address that actually in the 2nd or 3rd round this year. Yeah, going to the Packers. And the 7th round picks, I mean, it could be anybody. Like I just said, in the 5th and 6th round. I don't see the Packers drafting a quarterback this year. I think that would be kind of stupid because we got, you know, Sean Clifford as our backup. Willie Roberts from Louisiana Tech, Packers. And our last pick, like I said, it could be anybody. I did make a mistake by not drafting a linebacker in the 2nd and 3rd round, so I do apologize on that part. But I know I got to make it up by drafting 2 linebackers in the last couple of rounds. So Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State, you're a Green Bay Packer. And now the draft is done. And my grades, I got a B- for Jackson Powers Johnson, A+ for Tyler Newman. That's what I was saying. I was shocked when I seen that on there. So Javon Bullard, an A. Christian Mahogany, B. My worst pick was the edge rusher Jalen Green, which, like I said, I was even already freaking skeptical of even making that pick. But overall, look at that, a B+ according to Pro Football Focus. And now their picks were a little bit wacky, you know. So I give this honestly, I give the Packers a C+ if they actually did this draft because they didn't draft a linebacker within the first couple rounds. I really did mess up there, I'm not gonna lie. But that wraps up this video. If you do like it, hit that like button and comment down below who you think the Packers are going to end up drafting this year. I really do want to see your comments and concerns, whatever. So, yeah, I'm out of here. Deuces.